Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm sitting down with a very special guest, our product manager here at Educative, Hassan Rahil, and we're going to talk about our new AI tutor for developers, Fenzo. And we're so excited to tell you how and why we came up with this product. Hassan, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here.
All right, so let's start with the obvious question, one that I've seen, making the rounds on social media and one that I'm sure many of our users will have. There's so many AI tools out there, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. Why would we make another one?
We often talk to our developers and they keep telling us the same thing, that with these AI tools, they're coding faster, they're shipping faster, but essentially they don't really know much of what they're doing. So essentially, it's more about the missing learning curve in there, where you're getting more done, but you're learning pretty less as a result. And often these situations will come up again, right? You face bugs once, you face the same issues again. This could be in production, these could be in an interview setting. And essentially, you ideally would want to learn and have an answer for the next time, then be able to, go back and just see what we did.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from experience when I've vibe coded stuff, a lot of the times I've just copy pasted it. And, Control C, Control V has been a pretty famous shortcut in our community for a while. But I think there's definitely an opportunity cost associated with it. So it's great to see our product catching up with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the motivation behind Fenzo and why this is a valuable tool for developers. But I'm also kind of curious to know where the idea for the product kind of sparked. What were the discussions that you guys were having, and when did that aha moment kind of happen?
So interestingly, a lot of the learning moments actually pop up when you're actually working, right?
Yeah.
And in those moments, to get away from your IDE or your learning space and go to Educative, spend time finding the right content, finding the right unit of learning, and then being able to access it in the first place just to get an answer to the problem that you were in, that's just a lengthy curve. That's just a very long curve.
For sure, it's a lot of context.
Right. So the inspiration was, how can we bring learning to you in a moment where you require that learning? And essentially, Fenzo and the idea of just tell us what your query is, what your problem is, and it being able to surface a tutorial for you on the go, that's basically the just-in-time formula we're applying here.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of meeting users where they're at instead of forcing them to kind of go all over our website to find what they're looking for. And even if they do that, a lot of the courses that we have might cover what they're looking for, but also have a ton of extra buffer information that they don't necessarily.
Yeah, meeting users where they're at, that's basically, you said it perfectly.
All right, so walk me through the process. Let's say I head over to Fenzo and I ask it something like, how do I build a binary tree in Python?
Right.
What would be happening behind the scenes?
Got it. So Fenzo takes a pedagogical approach to creating and laying out a response for you. So it will not just start blurting out code or content for you. It will first try to assess. It will take a few seconds to understand where the learning is. And then it will sort of curate and construct structured response to it, starting from what the concept is and then take it ahead and flesh it out further, right? And then it sort of uses these different tools to then generate the right set of learning medium for you. For example, it would have visuals, it would have interactivity, code sandboxes, and it would have the right content structured for you so that you could, like, again, learning is the purpose here, right? So you could at the end of a tutorial be able to learn something from your query.
Yeah, and I mean, I've used Fenzo for this exact query, and I just want to say that you guys have done such a great job of making it seem familiar, like the Educative courses, design-wise, but also have it be the feel of a chatbot.
Yeah.
So kudos to your team as well.
Yeah, and that's happened pretty organically. That's happened pretty subconsciously. So that's awesome.
That's great to know. All right, so I like what you said about the structured approach that Fenzo takes, because when I've used tools like Claude or ChatGPT for learning, a lot of the times you can tell that they're basically next word predictors and they don't have that kind of pedagogical foundation that Fenzo does.
Right.
So how else does Fenzo differentiate itself from the kind of more text and chatbot based learning that ChatGPT offers?
So a couple of things there. I think the first thing is just visual cues. I think visuals are something that other LLMs and other tools are not doing that well. And we spend a lot of time actually to get those right. So that's one thing that we pride ourselves on. The other thing I'd say is quality control. We made it a point to not ship Fenzo until we had a high bar of quality for multiple answers that we internally produced, right? So essentially, it will not teach you any bad practices. Every answer needs to be high quality, and there needs to be high quality of learning coming out of that answer, right? We've really had to train it a lot to ensure no hallucinations and whatnot. So I think we've come at a point where we can really pride ourselves on the quality of an answer produced.
Yeah, and there is a certain reassurance in knowing that the knowledge base is from all of these professionals, and knowing that Fenzo isn't just pulling from Reddit threads on the internet. Like,
exactly,
it's coming from quality assured people.
Exactly.
So one more thing that I'm really curious about is, how does Fenzo shift the kind of relationship that engineers have with their tools?
Right. Okay, so Fenzo acts as a one-on-one mentor, right? It totally understands what you're looking for, understands where the need of learning or where your problem is, and it helps you there. It helps you upskill in those moments. So that's the relationship that we're going for, right? But it's not just developers, it's engineering teams as a whole. So what happens with, again, going back to how we started things, is you get how to do something, but then you hit a skill wall at some point, right? The team is not growing because individuals are not within the team are not growing. So essentially, it's basically a return on investment in that sense as well, where that relationship where you could go and learn on the go just in time when you need it, and sort of build that upward upskilling curve for yourself as well, where you're great at the same problems that pop up later.
Yeah, I love the idea of it being used by teams, because everyone has different needs, right?
Right.
And Fenzo is designed particularly to meet everyone where they're at, instead of just having this one homogeneous course.
Yeah, think of it as like a growing skill set for everyone in the team, and then as a whole consolidated growth of skill set in your engineering team.
Yeah, I love that. Rising tide lifts all boats. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This was a really helpful discussion for me, and I'm sure everyone watching will appreciate this as well. And if you want to try Fenzo, you can do so at educative.io/Fenzo.